welcome to Monson Made This. My name is Michael and I cook vegan food, and I am back today with two incredible recipes in a video that is sponsored by my friends at Almond, this delicious plant-based milk making machine. Today I am making not only a delicious oat milk, which is a cereal oat milk, which if you've ever had cereal milk, it's a really trendy thing that is always made with cow's milk, and it's usually like $7 for a little bottle, but it's really trendy, really delicious. I'm gonna show you how to make that in the Almond machine, and we're gonna be using oats, whole oat groats actually, and of course some cereal, which we'll be using cornflakes. But I'm not done there. I'm gonna be taking the pulp left over from the oats and the cornflakes, and I'm gonna be making some incredible breakfast cookies. You could eat them for breakfast, but in the end, they're still cookies. So without further ado, let's start making our delicious oat cereal milk here in the Almond Cow, and then we will have some delicious cookies shortly after that. For this delicious cereal oat milk, we need two ingredients, oats and cereal. Today I'm using cornflakes. Now these are an organic cornflake. That way I know it doesn't have any D3 in it, so it's guaranteed to be vegan. This is all gonna be made in the Almond machine here. I've already filled it with water. There are actually two lines inside, so you know how far to fill it. I like using the minimum line so that the oat milk is a little bit thicker. This is gonna be made in 2 steps. So I already have soaked whole oat groats here in the filter basket. 2/3 cup of dry oats soaked comes out to 1 cup, which is the exact amount you need for the Almond machine. Put the blade in there, give it a little bit of a shake just so make sure that it gets all in there. And then this filter basket and top goes into the base. And I forgot to plug it in. So let me plug it in here and then we will press the Almond button. Now I can press the Almond button. No, I feel like it's that one show, what is it, where they do like the blender dance? No. Perfect timing. Hey, this just finished. So 2 steps again. First one, we have made the oat milk in here. So I'm going to remove the top, and I'm just gonna let this kind of drip in there for a second. If I can set it up right. So this is gonna come out of the filter basket. We have this delicious oat pulp, which can be used for so many things. I actually couldn't decide whether I wanted to do this cookie recipe today or whether I wanted to do a savory oat grits recipe. So you can pretty much just cook this up like oats, just put it on the stovetop, add a little bit more liquid. You have oats, you can season them up savory or sweet, so they're ready to go for that. But I decided to go with the extra step and make these breakfast cookies. So I'm going to remove the filter basket here. Carefully set the blades down. And then I'm going to put this into the collector cup, which just allows any extra draining to occur. Now, I'm not gonna worry too much about, there's gonna be just like a little bit of residual milk left in there. And I'm not gonna worry too much about that because I'm actually gonna use it to help us out when we make the cookies, because we're gonna be using a flax egg. So having a little bit extra moisture in there just kind of helps to turn the flax meal into egg. All right, now I'm going to transfer this oat pulp into a large bowl here, and then we will start with the cornflake portion of it. Here I have cornflakes. Now this is about 1.5 cups that I have crunched up because when we add it to the Almond we want to make sure that it doesn't exceed, cool mess I'm making, that it doesn't exceed the 1 cup mark. That's one thing you want to be really careful about with this machine. Do not exceed the 1 cup line inside. All right, I'm also going to add a little bit of brown sugar and a pinch of salt. With cereal milk, I personally like it a little bit sweet. You could put a date in there, you could put some agave, you could not sweeten it at all. You could use a cereal that is already sweetened and you wouldn't have to worry about adding any sweetener to it. Pardon me here. Do my little patented shake. Okay. So, filter basket attached to the top again. It's going directly into the oat milk we've already made, which is oat milk. You could easily just use this for all of your oat milk needs, but we're gonna take it up a notch and make it cereal oat milk. This goes inside, already plugged in, green light is on. Press this one more time. The second cycle is done with our cornflakes. Same thing, gonna lift it out, let it just drain a little bit. So the cool thing about this oat milk, it's ready to go right now. You could easily use it for, again, all of your oat milk needs. One thing I do find though is I'm gonna be transferring it to this really cute Almond picture here. I find that once it's in the fridge for just a little bit, I think once it cools down, something happens with the oatiness of the oat milk. It thickens up really nice, so I actually prefer it after it's been chilled completely. So that was something that I would highly recommend. Going to take out the blade, and here we have our cornflake pulp, and this is going to go just directly into our bowl with the oat pulp. Again, not worried about any extra liquid in here because that's going to help us make our flax egg. All right, so I'm going to set this aside for just a moment, put the filter basket into the collector cup. Now let's transfer our delicious cereal oat milk, which has been sweetened, into this jug. Let me move it over here to make it easier. And watch how beautifully thick and delicious this is. Cereal oat milk is done. This is going to go in the fridge. I'm gonna quickly just rinse out my Almond Cow machine. I like to rinse it out right as soon as I'm done. That way you don't really have to wash it. You just rinse and dry and it's ready to go for the next round. And then I will be right back to show you how I make these cookies with just a few more ingredients that are gonna be added to this pulp. I have all of the ingredients I need for my cookies here, and I've actually already added the flax meal here to the the oat pulp and the cornflake pulp. I forgot to mention earlier that you can get your hands on an Almond Cow machine if you follow the link below. If you use code Michael at checkout, you will also save $15 off your order. You saw that big bag of the oat groats that I had. There's also almonds, there's cashews, all the ingredients you need to make delicious plant milks in your Almond Cow plant-based milk making machine are available from them. You can even have them on auto ship, so you're never without. It's incredible. Also, all of the ingredients and the recipe for these cookies, as well as the cereal oat milk, are gonna be on my website, monsonmadethis.com, and there's gonna be a link below for that as well. So I have the flax mixed in here. That's gonna be our egg, our binder, and I'm gonna continue to add the rest of the liquid ingredients. That includes brown sugar, some coconut oil that has been melted slightly and re-firmed up slightly, and some vanilla extract. So I'm just going to mix all of this together before we add our dry ingredients. So as I was stirring this, Ben asked me, why is brown sugar a liquid ingredient? When baking, sugar is a liquid ingredient because, as you can see here, it's kind of melting into it, and I'm hoping this is the right technical answer. But because it does essentially kind of turn to a liquid in the baking process, it doesn't add any structural support, so that's why I think it's considered a liquid ingredient, but with baking it just is. My mom says it is, my grandma says it is, so it is. What makes these breakfast cookies are the addition of more cornflakes, as well as some trail mix here. This has, coconut. I put coconut on top, but it has almonds, cashews, some pistachios, little chocolate pieces, dried fruit. You can use whatever your favorite sort of trail mix is, or fruit and nut blend. Basically, you need just like a cup of combination of nuts, seeds, dried fruit, chocolate, and here are coconut. So I'm gonna add this in here. I also haven't really chopped them up. As you can see, the almonds and nuts are pretty whole still. I'm going to add my corn flakes. Again, you can make this with whatever cereal you do like, if you don't want corn flakes. And then I'm adding a little bit of salt, baking powder, and baking soda. So now I'm gonna mix this together before I actually add the flour. And that's just because since we do have some moisture in here and we do have the liquid, that it will activate the gluten in the flour. So we want to make sure to add that last so that we have less time mixing the flour, so there's less of a chance that the gluten will be developed, because we don't really want a bread, we want a cookie. And that's it, it's all mixed together. Let's start adding the flour. I have 1 1/4 cups of flour here. Depends on how much residual moisture is in your pulp. I'm gonna start out with about half of that and see if I need to keep going. Now, if you've made cookies before, the texture you're going for here is a nice firm cookie dough texture. You want something that is going to stand up on its own, because we're going to be scooping it out with a cookie scoop or an ice cream scoop. And these cookies aren't really going to spread. They're going to stay kind of firm. If you've ever had like a Levain, I think that's how you say it, chocolate chip cookie, which is just kind of a thicker, it's kind of like a doughier, chewy in the middle, kind of like a crispier exterior, not flat. That's exactly what we're going for here. So I'm up to about a cup of flour here, and I think this is exactly where I'm going to stop. And as soon as I don't see any flecks of flour anymore, I'm done. This is such a beautiful dough. I love all the big pieces. I'm gonna give it a taste because vegan dough you can eat pretty much. Although I heard like flour is the thing that you want to avoid in terms of eating raw, but you need to taste it. It's incredible. It's not too sweet. We didn't use a ton of brown sugar, but the sweetness of the dried fruit, the chocolate, really adds, and as delicious as this is, it's going to be even better once we've baked them. So I'm going to start using my cookie scoop to add them to this parchment-lined baking sheet that's currently covered in all of my ingredient bowls. So let's move those, and then we can add the cookies to the baking sheet. I'm going to scoop these because I'm using a smaller like toaster oven type situation. I'm only gonna be able to get 6 on here. And that's just because it's still pretty hot here in Vegas and I don't wanna turn on the big oven to heat up the whole house. So put 6 here. Again, they're not really going to spread out at all. They're gonna stay nice and chewy and tall like this. If you wanted to flatten them, which when I was running tests of these recipes, I did flatten them and I actually really preferred them this way. All right, so my toaster oven / smart oven is preheated to 375. These are gonna go in there for about 20 to 25 minutes, and I'm going to avoid eating the rest of this dough while I wait for these cookies to cook. The cookies are done. I know that they're done because the bottoms are just lightly golden brown, as well there's a little bit of brown on top. Beautiful, and I'm going to try to do this with my left hand. Put them onto a cooling rack. You want to make sure these cool completely before you dig in. Okay. Gotta switch hands here, sorry. You want to make them cool complete, or let them cool completely before you dig in, just in terms of the texture, plus they're really hot and molten, especially these having chocolate chips. And so I'm gonna let these cool, and then as soon as they are cool enough to eat, I'm gonna pour myself a delicious glass of cereal oat milk and show you guys how beautiful these are on the inside. While the other cookies cool, I actually decided to just put in the last 6, which are probably gonna be the last 5, because as much as I tried not to eat too much, I think I ate about 1 cookie's worth. So these can bake while the others cool. It smells so good. I'm ready to dig in, but I have to wait. I tried to wait, but I really want to try these cookies, and I'm excited to have them with my cereal oat milk. Just gonna pour myself a glass of that. Actually, let's give this a taste first. I love the texture of this. I love how you get sort of the oaty cerealness, but you also have the cornflake cerealness, the light sweetness from the brown sugar. The salt kind of just takes it up a little bit. It's so good. It's like a treat. I don't know. I think this would be great for cereal. I think it would be great to make a cereal milk latte with this. It'd even be good with some like tea, like a chai tea type of thing. I think this would be incredible. I love this stuff. The cookies. Let's try to break open this and see if we have any delicious chocolates. Not so much, but you can see all of the different ingredients we have in there. Almonds, pistachios, cashews, raisins, cherries, chocolate. Let's give this piece a taste. Oh my gosh. This is like my new favorite cookie. I was always like a flat, really thin cookie type of person, but since I've started to make them like this, I just love the really doughy, kind of, it's not really raw in the middle, but definitely there's a softness to it. I don't like a crispy cookie, and this definitely is not that. So good. You definitely have to give this a try. Get yourself an Almond Cow. Again, the link below, you will save $15 off your first order if you use if you use code Michael at checkout. You can get just the machine, which unfortunately I don't have here right now. It's still drying. You can use code Michael, get $15 off your first order off the machine. You could also, again, order the ingredients: oat groats, cashews, almonds, coconut, make all the different plant milks that you like. Full recipe for the milk as well as the cookies are on monsonmadethis.com. Thank you again to Almond Cow for sponsoring this video, and I will see you very soon with a brand new recipe video. Bye.